Right, and hello everyone. Hello, good evening. We hope you guys are doing well. You're all looking quite nice today. Where is the crowd? Where's everyone today? Okay, we're starting the workshop and I've got more moderators than students. Okay, all right, we'll find our way somehow. Now today is our third lesson. Just a reminder straight off the bat, lesson number 5 is going to be a virtual dinner. Okay, so not next week, the week after on a Tuesday, we're going to have a virtual dinner together. So don't eat, relax. We're all going to eat together and we're going to talk about what it means to eat together as a Kabbalistic group and the principles of eating together. Now we'll just give a few more minutes for the guys to come on board. Hopefully we'll have everyone. Now it would be great if everybody could turn on their cams and make sure their mics are working, because today we're going to experience a workshop. So it'd be really good if everybody turned their cameras on, check your mics, make sure your telephones are off. So if everybody could just make sure your mobiles are off, because when we do a workshop, we definitely don't want to get disturbed. So it's very important to make sure the friends can have a smooth workshop. And all right, so there we go. So we've got some numbers coming in. And Anthony, you let me know how many we are. As soon as we hit 15 or 20, we can divide into 2 groups. Now, workshop is done usually with 10 people. And according to the perception of reality, you're probably wondering why you got 10 fingers and 10 toes. Okay, right? Because in reality, we can actually really focus on 10 people, not more than 10. So what we're going to do now, at the moment though, can you mute your mics? Everybody mute your mics, okay? Just make sure your mics are on mute. And when we go into the workshops, you're going to open up your mics, and then the moderators will tell you how that's going to run, okay? And how many people have we got today?
So we've got...
Give me a full head count over there. Can you give me a head count from there? Okay. And anybody who's here but hasn't turned on their webcam and have checked out their mics, please do so. All right.
Looking at 17 people.
We've got about 17. Okay, that's great. So we can have, and Judith, let me just arrange Judith. Judith should be able to break us out into rooms when I wish so. Okay, and Judith is there as well. Judith, wave a hand. Wave a hand so everybody sees you. There's Judith. Okay, there's our beloved Judith, who will be breaking us out into our moderator room, and she'll arrange similar numbers, 8, 8, or 8 and 9, depending on how many people we are. And if we're more than 20, we'll have 3 groups, like 777 or 778, depending on whatever. All right, so I can see we're getting the numbers on a little bit. Okay, cool. So let's do this first of all. As you know, we went over the rules of the workshop, the inner rules and the outer rules. All right. So let's just summarize the workshop rules with just 5 basic points. Okay. I think it was 4 or 5. Okay. So don't forget, this is very important when we're doing a workshop. Rule number 1, okay, rule number 1 is everybody is equal. Nobody is more important than the other, and everybody in the group is equally important. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, we don't argue, we don't negate, we don't, we don't belittle the friends because we think they've got a silly idea or a suggestion. Okay, everybody's idea is precious. Okay, so we don't argue, we don't disagree, and so on. Third rule, when all the friends are talking, we listen wholeheartedly. Okay, and we shut up that inner sound that we have inside of us that's always nagging and talking, but we just focus on listening to the friends, because we want to absorb everything that they're saying, like a sponge absorbs water. We want to get everything from the friends. Rule number 4, I shouldn't have to, okay, I should not be thinking about what to say while others are talking so that I'll come up with some bright idea. Okay, don't do that, because that's just doesn't really work. Okay, what works is this. I listen to the friends and I don't think about what I'm going to say. I just listen to the friends. And when it's my turn to talk, I just talk freely from what I feel. Okay? This is not an intellectual exercise. This is something we're going to do against what we've been taught all our lives. Because what we want to do, after all the things that I've heard from the friends, I want the outcome of everything I felt from what they said to be my contribution. So do not be thinking about what to say when other people are talking, because we want to say something intelligent and we want to make ourselves look good or something. That doesn't work this way. A workshop needs to be the outcome of everyone's talk. So this is very important. Rule number 5 is the workshop is not about how nicely I talk. It's not about how good I talk. It's not about how lovely I'm contributing to the group. It's all about contributing through the feelings that I got from the group in the workshop. All right? So this is very important. These rules are very, very important. They're very contrary to what we see in real life. Okay? Now, in real life, when you see members of parliament, when one of them is talking, the rest of the guys don't listen at all. They don't even care whatever he's even saying. Nobody listens to the guy. Okay? So we mustn't be like those members of parliament. We've got to be a group where everybody's talking, everybody's contributing, no skipping. Even if I have nothing to say, I just contribute with a word or two from what I feel. Like I said, it's not an intellectual exercise, and I just absorb everything that the friends are saying, so we can build this warm center of the group where we can have an outcome of the group in sensation and in feeling and also in understanding. All right, we've all been through the workshop rules, and so I'm not going to go over the whole set all over again. Instead, we're going to read an article, and usually I let you guys ask the question. However, today I'm going to be asking the questions and you guys are going to be answering it in the workshop. So once again, all the guys who don't have their webcams on, please turn them on and make sure your mics are working. So Enoch, Simon, Godfred, let's rock and roll. Okay, let's focus. And no Facebooks, no social media, okay, while we're in the workshop. It's very important. No fidgeting around. All right, just focus in the group as we talk. Now today we've got moderators. Can the moderators just wave so everybody knows who the moderators are? Okay, there we go. We've got 1, 2, 3. Godfred is there. 4. So we've got 4 moderators, and we've got 5 moderators. We've got another one. Okay, there we go. So okay, let's just say what else is there? Okay, there we go. Tauris. Okay, so there you go. Tauris is a moderator. Dillis is a moderator. Godfred and Louisa. Okay, so we've got 4 moderators. Now, the way things are looking, and how many people have we got?
13.
13 people. So we'll do 2 groups, okay? And what we'll do, we'll only need 2 moderators then. So let's have 2 moderators. We'll have, let's say we'll have
Godfrey, do the man.
Godfred. Okay, so we'll have Godfred, and we'll have Dillies there for this round, okay? And when we do a workshop, you be ready to split the group up, okay? But first we're going to read an article, so everybody listen to the article, because that's where the question is going to come from, okay? Are you guys excited? I'm excited. Okay, let's go. So we're going to read from Rabash, Social Writings. In case you don't have this book, it's really good to have, because it describes in the articles how we should be relating to each other in the group. Okay, Purpose of Society, page number 9. Purpose of Society 1. We have gathered here to establish a society for all who wish to follow the path and method of Baal Sulam, the way by which to climb the degrees of man and not remain as a beast. As our sages said about the verse, "And you, my sheep, the sheep of my pasture, Amen." And Rashbi said, "You are called men, and idol worshippers are not called men." Okay, when we're talking about men, it's not obviously men and women. We're talking about the degree human. All right? To understand man's merit, to understand human's merit. Okay, so don't take this the wrong way. When we use the word man here, it's human. To understand man's merit, we shall now bring a verse from our sages about the verse, "The end of the matter, all having been heard, fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole man." And the Gemara asks, what is for this the whole man? What is for this is the whole man? Rabbi Elazar said, the Creator said the whole world was created only for that. This means that the whole world was created for the fear of God. Yet, we need to understand what the fear of God is, being the reason for which the world was created. From all the words of our sages, we learn that the reason for creation was to benefit his creations. This means that the Creator wished to delight the creatures so they would feel happy in the world. And here our sages said about the verse, "For this is the whole man," that the reason for creation was the fear of God. But according to what is explained in the essay Matan Torah, the reason why the creatures are not receiving delight and pleasures, even though it was the reason for creation, is the disparity of form between the Creator and the creatures. The Creator is the giver, and the creatures are the receivers. But there is a rule that the branches are similar to the root from which the branches were born. And since there is no reception in our root, since the Creator is in no way deficient and needs nothing to satisfy his want, a man feels unpleasantness when he needs to be a receiver. This is why every person is ashamed to eat the bread of shame. To correct that, the world had to be created. Olam, world, means helem, concealment, so that delight and pleasure must be concealed. Why is it so? The answer is for fear. In other words, it is so that man would fear using his vessels of reception called self-love. This means that one should prevent oneself from receiving pleasures because one craves them, and should have the strength to prevail over the craving, the object of one's desire. Instead, one should receive pleasures that bring contentment to the Creator. This means that the creature will want to bestow upon the Creator and will have fear of the Creator, of receiving for oneself. Since a reception of pleasure, when one receives for one's own benefit, removes him from cleaving to the Creator. Therefore, when a person performs one of the mitzvot, a commandment, of the Creator, one should aim that this commandment will bring him pure thoughts that he will bestow upon the Creator by keeping God's commandments. It is as our sages said. Rabbi Hananiah ben Akashia says, the Creator wanted to cleanse Israel. Hence he gave them plentiful Torah and mitzvot. And this is why we gather here to establish a society where each of us follows the spirit of bestowing upon the Creator. And to achieve bestowal upon the Creator, we must begin with bestowal upon man, which is called love of others. And love of others can only be through revoking of one's self. Thus, on the one hand, each person should feel lowly, and on the other hand, be proud that the Creator has given us the chance to be in a society where each of us has but a single goal: for divinity to be among us. And although we have not yet achieved this goal, we have the desire to achieve it. And this too should be appreciated by us. For even though we are at the beginning of the way, we do hope to achieve the exalted goal. Right then. Does anybody have this book? Okay, so a few of you have this book. Great. Because then you can follow it through. So this is the first article that Rabash wrote when the group of guys got together ages ago, when the Rav was also Rabash's student. Now, this is not an easy article, I must say. Okay, although it's the first article, although it looks like a simple article, it is not the easiest article to go through. However, though, that's not the point, okay? Because if we've got teamwork, all of us with a standard level of IQ can come up with a solution much better than Einstein. Did you guys know that? No? Yes? Okay, according to science, people who are not geniuses actually come up with better ideas when they're together. And they have better leadership skills. So even though a topic may be hard, it may only appear hard as far as we're concerned. Because when we're all together, there's nothing hard. So I'm going to ask a few questions. You're going to break out. You're going to do the workshop rules. And the moderators, okay, who did I say the moderators are?
Gottfried is going to be the male moderator for the men.
Okay.
Dilly's is going to be the moderator for the women.
Okay, so Gottfried, wave your hand so they see that's Gottfried there from our Africa group. Lovely. And where's Dilly's? That's Dilly's there. Okay, that's the moderator. She's also from our African group. She's going to moderate as well. And Judith is going to divide us up. So let's get divided into our two groups. Now, the moderators are also going to participate. Okay? But what the moderator's role is, they're going to start it off, okay? And they're going to make sure we remain in the guidelines of the workshop, okay? Now, very important rule, technical rule. As we talk, we turn the mic on. But when we finish what we have to say, we must turn it off. Otherwise, it makes an echo in the background and it disturbs everyone's hearing, okay? Right, then Judith, divide this up and I'm going to shoot the first question. And give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Is there another pen over there?
It's male or female?
How many men have we got? Guys, put your hands up.
Look, it's about an even number. 6 men and 7 women.
Okay, so let's do men and women separately. Let's just do it that way for a start.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, great.
No, I don't have any.
No? Okay, no worries. I'll just borrow this pen. All right, so I see the men here. All right, great, lovely. Okay, so Gottfried, you're going to do the moderation. So the question is this, can everybody hear me though? Because I only see the guys on the screen. Can the ladies hear me as well?
There you go.
Yes?
Male.
Okay, there's Mel. Okay, cool. So all right, good. Right then. So here is the question. Here's the question. Why are we gathered together? Okay, why are we gathered together? Why did we gather together is the question. Why did we gather together? Remember, guys, everybody says something. Okay? Right, shoot, you go. Guys can start.
Friends, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Good. Why are we gathered here together? We are gathered here together to build a new society where the rules of Al-Salam will be practiced. That is, where love of friends, where we can form a group where we can learn how to bestow to one another. So we are here to form a group, a very wonderful group where love permeates.
Next and so on.
Enoch, can you still continue from top? Enoch.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Hello, how you can hear me? We are gathered here simply because of learning about how to attain spirituality using a group, in a group. So basically, I'm actually enjoying to be here, and I really need to learn about spirituality. Hope we can continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Abdul. Abdul, are you there? Or Michael? If Abdul is not with Michael, can you continue?
Yes, hi everyone. For me, I think we gathered together to understand the Creator, and it's really together that we will do that we won't achieve that individually. And it's this process of being together that will help facilitate the process of knowing the Creator and understanding the Creator. Thanks.
Thanks. Mel. Is Mel here or Mohammed?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, Mohammed, we hear you clear.
Yeah, I don't see my picture. Is it okay?
Good, we hear you clear and loud.
I'm not seeing my picture. Is it okay? I don't know.
We can see you, so go ahead and speak.
Yes, we gather together to rise above our egos and to love each other and love the neighbors as ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Joyce Louis Vega. Joyce, are you here with us? Okay. Abdul, can you speak? Go ahead, Abdul.
Ola, choose someone.
Louise. Louise, I can't hear you. Is it me?
Can you hear me as well now? Yeah? Okay. So we gather here all together to help each other find out the meaning of life and to also help each other evolve along the path. Marina?
Hello, we gather all together to open our hearts, to join together and find together the answer for all our questions. So, Lenny, please.
We gather here to connect to each other, and by connecting, we feel from our heart what might be the answer, so we can feel each other. Carmen, please.
We are here together to get answer to our questions. Sometimes this question get answer, but sometimes we don't really understand the answers. And we are here together to get new interpretation of the answers. Julia?
Carmen vorbește românește? Carmen, tu vorbești românește?
Da.
Da. Eu nu vorbesc engleza, nu mai înțeleg. Dar am intrat aici pentru că am urmărit toate cursurile lui Multu. M-am și întâlnit cu el la congres în Israel. Întrebarea era de ce ne-am adunat, nu? De ce am dorit conexiunea.
Da.
Pentru că numai împreună, formând vasul, putem primi lumina care reformează și de acolo noi ne rugăm și de acolo lumina își face treaba. Nu mai știu ce să spun. Acum
Is there a translation?
Thank you, Carmen. Do you understand?
Yes, we speak both Romanian. I wonder if you had a translation.
No, would you be kind enough, please, to translate that for us in summary, small?
Well, she said that we are here together to form that kli and together to have the opportunity to reach God, something like that, as I remember.
Good.
Mulțumesc.
Claire, have you had an opportunity yet? Please go ahead then, friend.
Okay, after Claire.
We're together
Right to
to
you did after Claire.
create an environment of the creator. and move towards the purpose of life together and support each other in doing that. Well, I don't know who else hasn't. Has anyone else not gone yet?
Mel?
Mel, yeah.
Mel, can you speak? Okay, whilst we wait for Mel to come back, Louisa, do you want to add something?
Sorry, I was off for a bit. What was the question?
Why do we gather here? And the friends have been brilliant in their answers at connecting with one another, adding to one another. I just
Here we go. Okay. Okay.
Pencil.
There you go, sorry. Rightio then. So I see the guys, I don't see the ladies. Are the ladies on as well? Okay, there we go. So the ladies are online as well. Can everybody hear me now? Yes, okay, great. So that was our first session. So as you can see, it's a bit of a heart-to-heart session. I can see you're not used to having heart-to-heart chit-chats. Okay, but this is what it looks like when we're doing a circle. All right, great. And good. I had an opportunity to look into both groups. It's nice to see that, it's nice to see everyone participating. I think we're doing good for our first workshop together, so that's really, really nice to see. If anybody wants to give me a feedback or anything, you can raise your hands on there and let me know. Okay. Okay, all right, so any questions, any dramas, anything uncomfortable, anything?
So that's what we learned. Mel was a lady, wonderful lady, but we thought he was a male.
Okay, yeah, we got that corrected. Judith got her fixed up. No worries.
Also, friends, I just want to remind everybody, when you go into the workshop, whenever you are not speaking, make sure that you mute your microphone so you don't get feedback or disturbance for the other friends, okay? So just remember that if you're not speaking, if it's not your turn to speak, please double check and make sure that your microphone is on mute so that way it doesn't interfere with the other friends being heard.
Okay, great. So I see George is with us now. Okay, George, we're doing the workshops. Okay, and so, so we're going to go for the second question. Before you break out, let me just say the question. Okay, I'm going to ask from the article again. Now, don't panic if you don't know the answer, because the correct answer to any question, right, should be the sum total of everyone's output. All right. And I'm going to ask you a hard one, okay? But it shouldn't be a worry. Okay, so this is the question. What is the fear of God? Okay, that's the question from the article. What is the fear of God?
Pro.
There is some strange because like I added you to the rooms, but somehow you are here.
Kick us off.
Yes, hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clear.
Oh, okay. In fear of God, that means if you do something that you hurt others people, in my opinion, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. So if you hurt them or you did something against um, I mean, if you do something that God don't love or don't like it, so you feel this feeling that hurting you, so that you feel like shame that you did something wrong to others. I think so. Thank you.
Good. Enoch, continue.
Yes, thank you for this chance again. I think the fear of God is that the dots in the hearts that he installed in the hearts of people of each and every one of us will not be activated. That few people will their dots in the heart will be activated, and many people will perish as a result of that. Thank you for now.
Thank you. Joyce. Then Michael, talk to us. Warm our hearts.
Okay, thanks, Godfried. That's actually a pretty tough question. I don't know the answer to that question. Yeah, I don't know. I think fear is a pretty negative term, and I'd hope there was something more positive, that I could understand love of God, but fear of God, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
You are wondering about the fear of God. The fear of God, because of all wisdom, the fear of the Creator is what the Kabbalists are talking about Him. He bestowed love to us, and then we have to look at Him as the ultimate. He's the one we want to emulate, and therefore we have reverence for Him. We have a fear, but the fear is and we learn about them. Okay. Simon, can you talk to us now?
Yes,
Yes,
I
I
was
was
listening
listening
to each of
to
your
each of your
friends,
friends,
and
and
Michael
Michael
said
said
he
he
does
does
not
not
know
know
what
what
fear of
fear
God
of God
is,
is,
but
but
I was
I was
thinking
thinking
same
same
time.
time.
Uh,
Uh,
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
who's
who's
creator, who
creator,
is
who is
God.
God.
So
So
I
I
think
think
fear
fear
of
of
God
God
is
is
connected to
connected to
it.
it.
And
And
I
I
fear
fear
that
that
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
who is
who is
God,
God,
who is
who is
creator,
creator,
and I
and
do
I do
my
my
best
best
to
to
find
find
out
out
whether
whether
he
he
is
is
leading me
leading
or
me or
not,
not,
and
and
constantly
constantly
check
check
where
where
he
he
is
is
and who
and
he
who
is,
he
what
is,
are
what are
his
his
qualities.
qualities.
Thanks. Sam
Some
Templar.
Templar.
Sam,
Sam,
are
are
you
you
here with
here with
us?
us?
Okay,
Okay,
talk to
talk to
us.
us.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
then
then
should
should
Okay, so they're still talking, right?
I can see his lips move, but I can't hear nothing.
Why are we disappearing off the screen?
okay,
okay,
Enoch,
Enoch,
let's go
let's
around
go around
again.
again.
Yes, thank you. Well, the fear. I think God has got a fear because
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. So yeah, I think the fear of God is something we gain while being on the path, discovering our true nature and how distant we are from the Creator and how He planned everything. That everything is so made to measure for everyone, and is so perfect. But then again, it's so against our nature. And if we manage to realize His will, to give Him contentment, and He, as you said, to go back where we were in this connection with Him.
Okay. Okay, so I'm so astounded by the answers here. You guys have just absolutely blown me away. Do you want to do a second round? If anyone wants to add something, please do from the heart. Remember, we're connecting to the center, finding the answer together. So if you have anything else to add, friends, go on in there. We call it popcorn style now, when someone just kind of throws in their little bit still, keeping it short, adding to one another. If not,
Okay, are we all back? Okay, I don't see the ladies, I see the guys on the screen. So let's wait a few seconds for the ladies. Yeah? Okay, can you guys hear me all? Okay, great. Great. Okay. Anyone got any questions?
Oh, yes.
Do you have a question? Are there
Yes.
Okay, let's see. We've got some questions.
So we've got some questions here. It looks like Michael and Muhammad are both along the same lines. So I'm going to read Muhammad's because his is shorter. It says, why are we separated, men and women?
Okay, and what's Michael asking?
Michael's the same. Why are the girls and guys in separate groups? Why not mixed?
That's a really good question. Why did we split up into men and women? Well, because we men are smart. Okay? And we know ourselves very well. Okay? And when we want to focus on something, it's very hard when you have a bunch of lovely ladies around. Right? If you have a bunch of charming ladies around you, how are we going to ever focus on the intention? You guys would never get the question right. Right? You'd forget the question after 2 seconds. It's a fair question. I'll tell you from a Kabbalistic point of view. What I just said actually is also true. Okay? It's true. We men know ourselves. This is why I said we're smart. We know ourselves because we're very weak creatures. Right? We're designed to receive pleasure. We're just weak. Okay? And you guys know, I know, and all the Kabbalists on the planet know that we're distracted very quickly, very easily. Our mind can just stray away. And God knows what God is likely to put in our heads. We don't know because He's full of surprises. If there's one Mr. Surprise on the planet, that's the Creator. So Kabbalists, being smart guys, said, wait a minute. The reason we're studying the wisdom of Kabbalah is so that we can connect in brotherly love and focus our thoughts and intention and all our desire inside upon one point and one point only. How can I love my friends so that through that I can come to love the Creator? In order for us to focus on that, we have to do a lot of work. It really is a lot of work. Because even if we're all guys or all ladies separate, it's already very hard to focus on something like that because we're always getting different thoughts. Alien thoughts are always coming and going. That's the first thing. We've got to focus. Second of all, men need to come to something called brotherly love. And that brotherly love needs to be like brothers with people I don't know and I have no connection with. So we have to come to that brotherly love. So unfortunately we can't do that with the ladies. Okay? Because why? Because we get confused very easily. This is why. So from laws of nature, what we have to come to is to a bonding like brothers. We can see this in laws of nature as well. You know, with all the football teams, right? Does anybody have a football team? Are you a football fan? Okay. What do? You go to a football match and you guys get all rowdy. Okay, but you don't see the women getting rowdy because the men have this adrenaline thing. Okay. Why? Because our natures are different. So somehow we have to compensate for the differences in our nature. It's also in the family like that too. Everybody has a role in the family. You know, men have a role, women have a role. And so in spirituality as well, what we have to do as a group of Kabbalists, men have to connect in brotherly love amongst themselves. And that's how it is. And in order to make sure we focus on that, we do separate ourselves, yeah.
Okay.
There's no, by the way, there's no it's not like I don't know how to explain it, but if you look at how our lives are from high school onwards, you see that our natures are different. From childhood, it's different. But what happened along the way is we kind of lost the laws of nature between us, and now we're this society who wants to equalize men and women. What we need to understand is, according to laws and everything, yeah, we should be equal, of course. But let's face it, our natures are not equal, and we can't take a man and stick him into a woman's mold, and we can't take a woman and stick her into a man's mold and say we are now equal. It's just, that's just silly. Okay, we have to appreciate the fact that in life we have a negative and a positive that need to complement each other. So that complementing is the representation of a family unit, actually. So we're different in our natures, and we need to understand that we're different. And when we're talking about coming to brotherly love, last thing we want is confusion about how we're going to get there. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? I talk sense, and only sense. Okay? All right? Sense and sensibility, that's my middle name. So, right? Any other questions?
So I think we're pretty good here. There was one question from Claire. Is there a benefit for women and gay men to be in separate groups?
Men and women, when we study together, regardless of the fact of their preferences in sexuality, should study together. Because men, at the end of the day, even though they may be gay, they are men, and women, they may also be, gay, but they're also women. So, and we do have such people in the group. We have a few people here, and even in Petah Tikva, we've got some friends here as well. This is not like a drama at all. And the reason is it's not a drama at all is because our goal is so much beyond the corporeal. What we're talking about here is connection between people, where there is some kind of sincerity, something really separated from our bodily senses. And in order for us to get to that connection, which is beyond the body, which is beyond the clothing that we're in, this flesh and bone, it takes a bit of time. And so when we first start to do the workshops and we get separated men and women, all of a sudden sometimes people freak out, oh my God, what's going on? But the reason is because of our natures. We're just different in nature. And we're not going to force ourselves to be different simply because the society on the outside has other opinions. And men and women are two separate, in fact, opposite parts of nature, which when together complement each other in such a perfect way that without one or the other nothing could happen. So we need to learn how to do that complementation, and right now we don't know, and this is why the societies that we live in generally are very, very broken down, with all the divorce rates, the children, and the problems in the youth, and so on, because we just don't understand our natures. So this is one of the reasons that when we get together, when we're working together as a group, from day one, we understand that we as people need to come to some kind of a connection that should be beyond our bodily senses. And in order not to confuse ourselves, not to trip ourselves, not to shoot ourselves in the foot, we do this separation. Along the lines, when we move forward, you will see how logical that is. You'll see how logical it is. It just really fits in nicely. Also, observe your thoughts during the day. All right, especially guys. Okay, since the guys asked the question, right? Check yourselves out during the day and how many times you get distracted. A lot. Okay, especially, you know, you will. Even if you're 105 years old, you've got no hope left in you, you will still be distracted. It is a law of nature. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. I'm serious. Okay? And we need to be aware of that. And because we know the laws of nature, we're prepared for it. Okay? That's how it happens. When we study together, we focus together. We want to connect together because our thoughts influence everyone. Remember what we talked about in the previous lesson, how thoughts, they're not in our mind. There's something that's between us. Our thoughts, our intentions, our desires, they're all between us. They're not inside one person. It's like also the love between a couple as well. It's not in one or the other. It's in between them. They feel it between them. So in us as well, when we're working spiritually, this connection that we need to have like brothers, you know, like in the army, you know, like in the band of brothers or something in those movies, you see how they get stuck to each other like glue, all right? They really connect. They're like a group of guys who work like one team, like a good ice hockey team. Okay, they're all on the ice field together. They're floating together. Why? They're working as a team. And that's called connection. That's called harmony. So what we want to do is make sure when we're studying spiritually that our environment is set up in such a way that it influences only towards the goal. Because the minute your environment is slack, trust me, your thoughts are going to be slack. Your intention is going to be slack. You're going to be way off the mark. You want to go that way, you'll be heading off to Timbuktu. All right? Does that make sense? It should make sense. If you just sit down and think about it rationally, you'll know that it makes sense.
Michael says in regards to that, pretty interesting. I would always much rather be in a woman's group, so maybe you have a point.
I definitely have a point. And if I didn't have one, they wouldn't let me teach at all. All right. Now, dearly beloved friends, it's 21:59. We've got about 40 seconds left to go. Are there any more questions?
Yes. Claire says, I don't get it. What if something else distracts you?
Well, at least that's something else and not us. Okay. There's always going to be a distraction, Claire. Always. And the whole idea of the environment, even the environment we have here right now, is focused in such a way that at least we can minimize it. Something is always going to distract me. The creator will always find something that happened today, something that happened yesterday. I watched a movie like, let's say, 2 months ago, and all of a sudden that will come up into my mind. Something will always disturb you. But what's smart to do is like studying for an exam. What do you do when you want to study for an exam? You want to make sure you focus. So you turn the phone off, you turn your social media down, you shut down everything else, and you dig into your books and you just focus on that. Okay? You know the doorbell might ring and the neighbor might come and ask for a lemon. Okay? But what you do, which is in your hands to do, to minimize distraction. And that's exactly what we do. Okay? Are we all good with that, yeah? Everything I explain is like logic. I don't think you guys are going to find any faults there. Okay? Great. And that's it?
That's it.
Okay, lovely to see you guys once again. Now remember, next week we're going to carry on. If you don't have this book on the internet site, try to find Purpose of Society #2. We're going to do that next week. Okay? Purpose of Society #2. And please don't forget, the week after, we're all going to eat together virtually. And we're going to eat it mixed up, okay? So we're not going to be guys eating separately, women eating separately. No, we're going to have a mutual meal all together. So I respectfully request, okay, to come with your meals and everything. We're definitely going to have something to eat here as well. And we'll all eat together, and we're going to talk about what it feels like or what it means to have a Kabbalistic meal together with the friends. Okay? But next week, we're carrying on with the workshops. The week after, we've got dinner.
That's the 27th, the dinner.
27th is dinner. Isn't that lovely? All right.
We got a date.
Great to see you all. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all next week. All the best. Take care.